Welcome. This is David Boles, Human Meme. Today's topic, danger of becoming the establishment. We may wish to lead the world from above, but there are always unknown underworld perils to the spirit that will reward us while punishing us. And that balancing act between success and failure is difficult for even the most talented among us to navigate. Lin-Manuel Miranda set the new tone for excellence on Broadway by blowing up the Great White Way with his musical Hamilton. Lin-Manuel Miranda used rap music, non-traditional casting, dance, and broken mimetic storytelling to set a whole new expectation of what a modern musical makes and breaks on Broadway. Lin-Manuel Miranda successfully set the new high water mark for the innovative Broadway musical. And that, my friend, is deadly for Lin-Manuel Miranda. And beastly for the ongoing Broadway musical meme. And here's why. Our friend Lin-Manuel Miranda is now caught. Caught temporarily, perhaps, but caught still in an expectation conundrum from which he cannot escape. People will want what they already know from him, and if he delivers, he will not be moving forward his aesthetic fast enough. And no matter what, delivering a Hamilton 2 will only disappoint his hardscrabble fans as being stale and done before. If, on the other hand, Lin-Manuel Miranda goes off the board and into a newer realm, his faithful fans will rebel because they know him now and they have an expectation of something they do not yet understand. But whatever that wacky new something might be, they, his fans, certainly won't want what he provides, because it will be too new, too darling, and too scary for them to contemplate. And so, does Lin-Manuel Miranda go down his own road, or does he ply the faithful with what they think they want, all in order to collect the big paycheck, while losing his aesthetic heart in the operation? Lin-Manuel Miranda cannot have it both ways. You're either innovating or you're the same. You can't stand still and move forward. You cannot leap back in time and then pursue the pluperfect future unknown. And this problem is not new, and it is not unique to Lin-Manuel Miranda. This, what we're talking about, is the crisis of stasis that burdens every single genius inventor in any sort of field beyond the Broadway musical stage. Can you blow up the world twice? Or do you get caught in a circular wailing with no way out other than doing what you've already done to keep your rapacious lifestyle alive? Eating well is better than hunger. The penthouse beats the street. The tailor begets the ragman. Change or stay the same. There are tremendous risks all around for both choices, and your loyalty will quickly be proven. Are you loyal to yourself, or do you follow the call of the big money floating around you? Many of us have been taught to follow the money. Don't trip over a quarter to pick up a dime. Money rules. Money is power. Money corrupts. Absolutely. And what of the innovator who was once poor and ignored, and then who hits it big, really big, with an unexpected score? Does that genius mind try to repeat the trick of luck? Or does that mentality just continue on to create and melt whatever pleases the forbearing mind. The risk to Lin-Manuel Miranda and others like him is that whatever he or they produce next will likely be considered middling, because now, no matter what qualitative choice he quantitatively decides to make, everything for the rest of his life will be compared to Hamilton, whether that's true and fair or not. And so the compulsive, indicative, treacherous mind will know that fact and do a project that will please but not change, and that choice of being takes the money and runs. And like it or not, Lin-Manuel Miranda is now the establishment, and that was not a choice he actively made or set out to achieve. Nobody chooses to become the standard bearer. It just sort of happens through osmosis and success and expectation of deliverance. And like it or not, as others try to imitate the success of Lin-Manuel Miranda, and they imitate him without his intimate ingenuity or genius or even permission, they will all spectacularly fail, while still trying to become his successes. And just that process alone, one of competition in comparison and imitation, taints the legacy of Lin-Manuel Miranda. And that, my friend, is sadly an unavoidable staining. And if Lin-Manuel Miranda's next project happens to be a flop, then that may not be a bad thing, because he can then become the new comeback kid. And Broadway thrives on a rags to riches story. But flopping into a new hit can be tough on Broadway now, where success is measured in the tens of millions of dollars and not on how many thousands of pairs of eyes are watching you a week. It is now not just enough to fill the theater. You have to oversell the seats on the ticket exchanges to make the really big bang buck profits everyone expects to bury at home. And so the risk is the people tire of the new and of the daily daring, and what was old is now new again. And everyone gets on the bus to go back to the mentality of the old hits and to ride the bandwagon together once again. This follow-up success scenario is not unique to Broadway or to Lin-Manuel Miranda. Author J.D. Salinger faced a similar horror. And yes, it is a terror to become a white-hot meme that changes the world. And then the base expectation becomes that you will best yourself with every new try of the next thing, with the same thing that got you there in the first place. An impossible termination. Catcher in the Rye stung Salinger, and his success kept him quiet and at home, writing or not writing, in a self-imposed oblivion. It's a hard life when your worst competition is the best of yourself. Author Truman Capote also had a white-hot success with In Cold Blood, and he spent the rest of his life hiding from the last lie that he became himself. Now let's go back to Broadway and Charles Strouse, successful Broadway composer. Smash hit in 1960 with Bye Bye Birdie, and then he did the unbelievable 17 years later and had an even bigger hit than Bye Bye Birdie, and that burning hit was called Annie in 1977. And now I ask you the difficult question. What, since those two powerhouse productions, has Charles Strouse done today? And yes, who am I to claim him or his indifference? I'm a standard know-all nobody hosting this human meme podcast. But that's the world in which we now spin, where even the unknown and the unabated can question the inalienable rights of kings and to ask the gods to step down from the mountain. Well, Charles Strouse has written 16 major musicals since he wrote Annie. Can you name one of those 16 musicals? And Charles Strouse was able to get Annie because of his previous Bye Bye Birdie mega success. One win claims another. Just as one flop buries another defeat. And hey, Charles Strouse needs to do nothing more to go down in the lore and the lure of Broadway history as a fantastic talent. But what does a man do with a musical life, now at aged 88, when his last big monster hit that changed the world was 40 years ago, when he was 48 years old? No artist wants to be forgotten or remembered for what they used to be and not what they end up becoming. And to fade away in the prime of your life, in the middle of your talent. And true artists never retire. They just get old and then they fade a little bit. But the true artist is always there in the background, trying to hit that next big smash right into your face. And 40 years is a lifetime of waiting for never getting another hit. Always be the outsider. Never become the mainstream. And if you happen, by mistake, to become the middling, change immediately and go somewhere else. Do something new. Your heartless mind will thank you for it later. And so, is it better to have written than to never have written at all? Is it better to be rich and heralded once in your life than never? I suppose it depends on your intention and your perspective. Is the work all that matters to you? Or do you wish to leave behind some sort of permanence that cannot be erased by tastes in time or cultural change? And that is the enduring test of the true artist, divining what matters and what deserves to be preserved. And like Van Gogh, the living of the life doesn't matter when it comes to fame and fortune. Because sometimes your own best work outlives you and takes on a superstardom alone without you. It takes faith in your talent that you know what you are doing is right. And if you hit it rich along the pathway of realizing who you are, great. But that success leads to many more demons than ongoing anonymity ever could. Toiling alone in your own mind is a rich escape from the entrances of other feebler minds. Anyone can make money with a stereotype or a copying of wishes into dreams. But it is the truer task, the harder effort, to keep churning and putting your values and your senses on the line in do-or-die moments every day, where the real measurement of success is only if you are able to feed yourself in the next hungry moment. And that is what drives success, a hunger, an unvanquishable desire to devour the next wild idea into something that means something beyond the lonesome self, and resonates within someone else in echoes and ringing vibrations. That then ennobles them to untangle the world and feed their own cemented demons. Thank you for listening. Be a human meme.